So you have understood the concept of significance of biodiversity. Okay, we have understood about the concept of sacred groves and how they are significant in our country, right? The next thing that we are going to see, very important part, that if you have understood what is biodiversity, we have understood the point that they need protection, especially in our country where we have a huge diversity located. So what are the different conservation strategies? Okay, conservation strategies means, conservation means to protect and to preserve the biodiversity as it is. Protection from what? Mainly from human being itself. We have already seen what kind of impacts we have on the environment, correct? Pollution, deforestation, global warming, all such things that we continuously do. So they affect the biodiversity to a large extent. So in order to protect this diversity of flora and fauna, we need the proper conservation strategies. So experts like environmentalists, wildlife biologists, botanists, zoologists, they come together and they provide their opinions, and we come out with conservation strategies basically of two types. One is in situ conservation and the other one is ex situ conservation. We will see both of them. Okay, see, in situ conservation means what? It is also called on-site conservation. That means in the nature, all the naturally existing wildlife areas should be protected as it is. And for that, the government has designated something called as PAN, Protected Area Network. So, or there are different types of protected areas which are demarcated by the government. So if any place is having a very good biological diversity, the government has the right to make a border around that area and declare that area as a protected area. Protected area means it cannot be disturbed by any human activities. That's the ideal meaning. So there are different types of protected areas. You can see the names. You know something called national parks, correct? You have sanctuaries, okay? You have biosphere reserves, right? You have, there are different ways. We are not going into the details of everything, but just to see the names of all scientific reserves and strict nature reserves, okay? You have community reserves and conservation reserves. There are different names, but the major aim remains the same, okay? We also have national monuments and landmarks. Okay, we will see something called World Heritage Sites now. You have protected landscape or seascape. Then you have protected areas with sustainable use of natural resources. Okay, national biotic areas, anthropological reserves, habitat or species management areas. Okay, and lastly, marine protected areas. So like this, protected areas are classified into various types, 11 types. So obviously we don't need to go into the details of all of them, but some of them we are going to see the major ones with the respective examples. Okay, so the first one, national parks. You must have heard about something called national parks, right? So there are 566 national parks. Sorry, not 566, 204 national parks that we have in our country. Okay, lots of areas in our country where there is a very good biodiversity of plants, animals and all, and we are able to protect them. So in this map, you can see some of them. Okay, the nearest one that we have in Mumbai, that is the Sanjay Gandhi National Park. Do you know that? Borivali National Park. Have you visited? Harsha, you are not seen?
No.
It's in Borivali in Mumbai. Whenever possible, do visit it. It's a forest area. Mumbai is the only place in this country where there is a metropolitan city just next to a forest area. There are leopards and all. Okay, so like that you have many such national parks. We will see the examples now. Okay, so see this. This is the Borivali National Park I am talking about. Okay, it is this is the main gate. About 10-15 minutes walkable distance from Borivali railway station. You just enter over here. There is an entry fee charged, and you enter inside, and you enter into a different world altogether. It's a nice forest area. And inside the forest, like this one border is towards Borivali, the other border is towards Thane. Thane, Bhanduk, Mulund, Powai, Goregaon, Daisar, these are all forming the border of this national park. Okay, and inside here there is a good amount of wildlife. Leopards, hai, deer, hai, lots of plants and animal species are there. Okay, that is SGNP in Mumbai. Similarly, you have Silent Valley National Park in Kerala. Okay, very interesting place as the name suggests. Silent Valley, very deep valleys, dense canopy of trees, and hardly any wildlife. I mean, hardly any human disturbance. Sorry. So, lion-tailed macaques करके एक animal है, which is very commonly found in this region. Okay, they are very popularly protected because of this. That's the Silent Valley National Park. Similarly, you have the Desert National Park in Jaisalmer, Rajasthan. Okay, towards the Pakistan border side. This is the national park located there, full of desert. And the desert animals and plants which are protected over here. About 17 kilometers away from Jaisalmer, there is a place called Akal. That place has got something called a very unique thing, Wood Fossil National Park, where there are different fossil pieces of plants and animals which are preserved. As a tourist, you can go and visit. So that's in Rajasthan. Okay, ये है कान्हा National Park in Madhya Pradesh. It is near Madhya Pradesh Chhattisgarh border. Okay, you must be aware about that common story which children generally like. Mowgli वाला story पता है? Mowgli, Jungle Book.
Yes.
Right, recently उसका movie आया था, देखा रहेगा. That book, that story was written by a Britisher called Rudyard Kipling. He, as a tourist, had visited this Kanha National Park and he stayed there for a long time observing the plants and animals. तो वहाँ के एनिमल्स को सब देखकर उनको इंस्पिरेशन मिला, ऐसा एक स्टोरी बना सकते हैं. So that is because of the Kanha National Park. Okay, then that was about national parks. और भी बहुत examples है from the map. You can write as many examples as you want. Similarly, we have lots of wildlife sanctuaries in India. National park का मतलब क्या है कि any natural area you are demarcating in general for all its natural beauty and the flora and fauna. Wildlife sanctuary का meaning है कि you are protecting a naturally existing area, especially for a particular wildlife, जो सिर्फ वही मिलता हो. That's why it is called as a wildlife sanctuary. And especially if it is for the birds, we call it as a bird sanctuary. Okay, so let's say in India there are more than 550 से भी ज़्यादा wildlife sanctuaries are there in India. That's the latest number. Okay, so let us see some of them. See this. This is called as the Dr. Salim Ali Bird Sanctuary at Panaji, Goa. Okay, Dr. Salim Ali is a very popular ornithologist. Ornithology का मतलब है study of birds. He is an expert in that. तो उनके नाम के आगे bird sanctuary बन गया. So there are some areas where there are lots of birds which come, especially migratory birds also, जो दूसरे country से आते हैं. Right? So they need protection because अगर यहाँ पे हम लोग ने development कर दिया, so those birds will vanish and they won't come. So their protection is necessary. Correct? Similarly, you have the Dampa Wildlife Sanctuary at Mizoram, a northeast Indian state. ये है clouded leopard. That is very popular in this region. And there is a tiger reserve also. बहुत सारे national parks and sanctuaries हैं India में which are become a tiger reserve because वहाँ पे naturally tigers मिलते हैं and they need protection. Their numbers are reducing. Okay, तो प्रोजेक्ट टाइगर करके 1973 में लॉन्च किए थे. अंडर दैट इट बिकेम अ टाइगर रिजर्व. ओके, ये है सुंदरबंस. यू मस्ट बी अवेयर. ओके, दिस इज अ पार्ट ऑफ इट इज इन इंडिया एंड द रिमेनिंग पार्ट इज इन बांग्लादेश, वेस्ट बंगाल से. इट्स अ वर्ल्ड्स लार्जेस्ट मैनग्रोव डेल्टा, swampy region, and this is the Royal Bengal tiger found in that region. And mangrove trees है वहाँ पर. Okay, it is called as Sundarbans because of one of the mangrove trees growing in that region called as the Sundari tree. Okay, why it is called Sundari? Because it looks very beautiful, that tree. Local language में सुंदरी करके बोलते हैं. That's why the name of the place is Sundarbans. Okay, but remember world का सबसे बड़ा mangrove delta है. Okay, similarly in Kerala you have Periyar Wildlife Sanctuary, which is very popular for its wild elephants. Okay, that's a Periyar. It is near the Nilgiris, Nilgiri mountains in the south. Very beautiful mountains. Okay, understood about sanctuaries. Similarly, you have Kaziranga Wildlife Sanctuary जो आसाम में है, one horned rhinoceros के लिए. You have Gir Wildlife Sanctuary in Gujarat for the Asiatic lions. Correct? ऐसे बहुत examples हैं. Okay. Similarly, जैसे national park and sanctuaries हो गया, you have biosphere reserves in India. Biosphere reserve मतलब a very large area which includes many national parks and sanctuaries. So in India, totally there are 18 biosphere reserves spread over a large area. Okay, these are the 18 which you can see in the map. ठीक है, इसका main important function है biosphere reserve का. There is a core area which is exclusively for research and monitoring. That's why a biosphere reserve is demarcated. Okay, so ये देखो, this is the Rann of Kutch biosphere reserve in Gujarat. गुजरात का कच्छ region, you know very well, near bordering राजस्थान, है ना, very nicely spread out area. तो वहाँ पे बहुत flora and fauna है. These black bucks and the deer species are very popular in that region. Okay, similarly in the Tamil Nadu coast you have the Gulf of Mannar biosphere reserve. Okay, have you been to Rameshwaram? Do you know that? Tamil Nadu के eastern coast में. Okay, if you see this map, this is the Rameshwaram island, and that is the place which is very close to Sri Lanka. Okay, Rameshwaram is very popular, and वहाँ पर, as you can see in this map, there are these 21 islands near Tamil Nadu coast. 21 islands. ये पूरा जो area है, that is demarcated as the Gulf of Mannar biosphere reserve, which is at Dhanushkodi in Tamil Nadu. So because it's a coastal ecosystem, there are marine animals like these turtles and all which are very popular. उसको protection दिया हुआ. Okay, whenever possible, visit these places. They are very beautiful. The coastal region of Tamil Nadu is very popular for all this. Okay, you have those places like Nagapattinam, है ना, all the way up to this side. चेन्नई से start करते हुए रामेश्वरम होते हुए, you can go all the way to Kanyakumari. पूरा coastal है वो. Yeah, very beautiful places. Okay, this is in Uttarakhand, a very beautiful Himalayan state, and this is called the Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve in the Himalayas. अगर इंडिया के लिए सबसे बड़ा वरदान है तो वो है Himalayas. You see the topography of our country, right? There are Himalayas in the north and south portion, the complete coastal region, more than 3,500 kilometer coastline. So that's why the climate of India is very diverse. Okay, and that's why there is a very great diversity in the flora and fauna of our country. ये है नीलगिरी, okay, which is spread across the southern part of Karnataka, northern part of Kerala, and the western part of Tamil Nadu. The Nilgiri mountains. There is a very beautiful hill station called Ooty. गया कभी? That is in the Nilgiris. Okay, that's a big biosphere reserve. So all such plants and animals you will find. It is, the place is called Nilgiri mainly because of the eucalyptus trees growing over there. Eucalyptus को ही नीलगिरी बोलते हैं. The blue mountains. Eucalyptus के जो leaves होते हैं ना, it has got a bluish colored tinge. That's why many eucalyptus trees, when they grow together, the mountains get that bluish appearance. इसीलिए नीलगिरी. नीला मतलब blue, गिरी मतलब mountains. That's how the name is there. Okay. ये देखो. This is very important conservation corridor, you can say. Sometimes there is one forest area on one side and there is another forest area on the other side. In between there is a narrow region. So sometimes elephants from one forest, big animals like elephants from one forest, they may go to some other nearby forest. For some reason, elephants move in big herds, you know that. So if we have constructed a highway passing through such regions, okay, जैसे यहाँ पे दिख रहा है देखो कि if you are driving across such a highway and you come across wild elephants crossing, so what are you supposed to do? Will you press the horn and move the elephants away, or will you wait from a distance and let the elephants pass first?
Wait from a distance.
Yes, you will have to wait because you are passing through a forest which is their home. So first they have the right to pass. तो उसको हम लोग कॉरिडोर करके वर्ड यूज करते हैं between two forest areas when there is a junction like this. So in this map you can see in Kerala you have the Tirunelli Reserve Forest over here, okay, and this is the Kudrakot Reserve Forest over here. इन दोनों के बीच में ये एलिफेंट्स के जाने का रास्ता है. That's called as the Tirunelli Kudrakot corridor. Because there are mainly the elephants which migrate, so we call it elephant corridor. So like this, there are many such corridors in our country between two different adjacent forest regions, and animals are known to pass through them. Okay, so when we are passing through such areas, we have to make sure that the animals are not harmed. And especially ऐसे जगहों पे problem क्या होता है कि when we construct railway lines passing through such regions, so there are many accidents which happen. The elephants, rhinoceros, okay, they engine वगैरह train full speed में चल रहे तो उनसे टकराते हैं and the animals die. So that's very pathetic. So we have to be very careful when we are constructing such human developmental activities, right? Now, when it comes to protected areas, we also have UNESCO World Heritage Sites in our country. UNESCO World Heritage Site means which has been constructed long time back, but they are very significant from Indian point of view and they need to be protected as it is because they are associated with the local biodiversity. Okay, so all these different World Heritage Sites which are very popular tourist places also in our country. Okay, all of you must be aware about the Ajanta Ellora caves, correct? They are very
Yes.
popular. The Elephanta caves, right? We'll see some of them now. ये देखो. These are the Elephanta caves that we have in Maharashtra. है ना? Gateway of India से if you take a boat, you can go to that Alibag wala island, Elephanta Island, and there you come across these caves. So they are naturally rock cut caves of the ancient times. Similarly, you have the Kaneri caves in Mumbai. I showed you that Borivali National Park. वहाँ main gate से, if you keep walking for about 2 to 2.5 hours inside, you will reach these Kaneri caves. There are more than 300 such caves, rock cut ones, more than 5,000 years old. Imagine at that time, people had the patience to cut and make these kind of carvings and sculpturing on the rocks. That kind of engineering skills we won't get today, which those people had. That's why they need to be protected. Correct? The Elephanta caves, the Kanheri caves. Similarly, we have the lots of beautiful temple architectures in our country. Right? This is the Konark Temple of Orissa. See how the rocks and the construction is done. This kind of carving was done in such an ancient time. In Tamil Nadu, Tanjavur, we have the Brihadeshwar temple, you know that. इसका speciality क्या है Brihadeshwar temple का? This kind of a main sanctum sanctorum जो बोलते हैं, उसको हम लोग बोलते हैं गोपुरम. Correct? So this temple is constructed in such a way that at any given time of the day, the shadow of the main temple doesn't fall on the earth, on the ground. If you visit this, you will actually see it for yourself. That's the Brihadeshwar temple in Tanjavur, Tamil Nadu. The temple from all four sides, if you visit, the shadow of the temple doesn't fall on the ground at all. Very beautiful one. Okay. ये देखो, the Sanchi Stupa in Madhya Pradesh. Sanchi is the name of a place. Okay, there you find this stupa, this kind of pillars, the domes. Okay, having some or the other inscription. यह है Darjeeling Himalayan Railways in West Bengal. See, in India, in 4 different corners of the country, we have very beautiful, popular hill trains. Yeah, mountain railways. So in the eastern part of our country, in West Bengal, we have Darjeeling Himalayan Railways. In the north, in Shimla, you have the Kalka Shimla toy train. In south, we have a toy train at Ooty. And in the west, very near to us, we have a toy train at Matheran. You know that. So these are also very beautiful sites. The Khajuraho temples in Madhya Pradesh. No doubt you are aware about the Taj Mahal in Agra, one of the wonders of the world. How symmetrically it has been constructed, and see the quality of the marble that is used. Beyond imagination. Correct? So these are all very beautiful architectural creations. Okay, ये देखो, this is the Nilgiri Mountain Railway of Ooty in Tamil Nadu. Very beautiful pictures. कभी experience करो इस, like if you visit the entire country, you see the entire biodiversity. You don't need to go any other part of any other country. Right? This is a place called Bodh Gaya in Bihar, a temple dedicated to Lord Gautam Buddha. It is believed that he attained enlightenment over here. उनका एक मंदिर है. That's called Bodh Gaya. Okay. ये बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है. This is called Champaner Pavagadh Archaeological Park in Gujarat. Archaeological park means ancient rocks and all are there. Archaeological sites. Something very interesting. It's like if you want to study history and all, ऐसे जगह पे जाओ, visit करो, बहुत कुछ देखने मिलेगा. Similarly, you have the Ajanta Ellora caves in Maharashtra near Aurangabad. जैसे हमने कानेरी caves, Elephanta caves देखे. These are also very popular, and there are very popular cave paintings which you will be able to see. जो उस टाइम पे इंसान ने ड्रॉ किए थे caves के अंदर. They are preserved till now. Right? This is the Kas Plateau in Satara, Maharashtra. इसको mini valley of flowers करके बोलते हैं. This is the month of September going on. The best season to visit Kas Plateau. कि natural plateau है, you can see the flowers growing over there. Imagine how beautiful it will be. Correct? Qutub Minar, you know, iron pillar उस time का. Such an old construction. So that is also a very important World Heritage Site. Correct? This is very interesting one. This is called as the Lonar Sanctuary. See the lake. This is near Buldhana in Maharashtra. What is the significance of this lake? ये जो lake है, Lonar Lake, it is believed that it is more than 56,000 years old. And it was believed that there was a meteor strike on the earth, a celestial body, because of which this huge crater was created, and it has got a lake now. उसको Lonar Lake बोलते हैं. तो उसको एक sanctuary बना दिया, called the Lonar Sanctuary. So it is the only such site in our country where a protected area is having a celestial origin. Very beautiful lake, as you can see. Right? So this is also a place where it is worth visiting. Okay. So overall, after all these examples that you saw, you can see that there are different types of protected areas that we have in our country, totaling approximately, considering all of them, the numbers keep changing. Okay, there are two new national parks designated very recently. ये सब चलता रहता है. तो approximate number that we have is around 850 such protected areas in our country, and the maximum of them is are the wildlife sanctuaries. Now it must have touched even 900. बहुत सारे नए additions हुए. Okay, so this number will fluctuate, but approximately 900 to 850 you can say we are having protected areas. And in that also, okay, understood about the protected areas and in situ conservation properly?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. Now there are certain organizations which are in India, their names, their locations you should know, who are involved in conservation of this biodiversity. Okay, so these names you should know. ये है अपना DNHS in Mumbai, Bombay Natural History Society. Okay, like later after you reach the graduation level or maybe post graduation level in one of these subjects, if you are interested in working for the environment, you can join one of these organizations. Okay, you can work for the welfare of the environment as a student, as a volunteer. You can even pursue your own research with the support from these organizations. So there are people who work. Okay, similarly you have the CPR Environment Group of Chennai. Okay, so it is like CPR Environmental Education Center. So you can also, after gaining some education, you can pass on the education to students of the lower age group. You can be a part of that. There are people required to work. Okay, you have the Gandhi Peace Foundation Environment Cell at Delhi. They are also working for the cause of the environment. Okay, all these names you should remember. Then in India, you also have you heard about the Chipko Center or the Chipko movement? Right, Chipko movement was an old one, but it was started in that time. It was Uttar Pradesh. Now it is in Uttarakhand. It is a Tehri Gadwal region, and it was started under the leadership of Dr. Sundar Lal Bahuguna. He was the leader of that movement. So what they did, that the local people were dependent upon the local trees for their livelihood. They used to love that environment. So when there was order passed to cut down the trees and the forest, okay, for any kind of developmental activity, the villagers came forward. They went and they hugged the trees. That's why it is called Chipko. एक एक बंदे जाकर एक एक पेड़ से चिपक गए. So it's like अभी काटना है तो हमारे साथ काटो. So they were able to protect. That movement was very successful. And like that, many movements were taken place in different other parts of the country also. जैसे कर्नाटका में अप्पेको मूवमेंट करके हुआ था, having similar movement meaning. Okay, so like that you have such organizations where the youth, they work, they understand the importance of the environment and they work for it. Okay, similarly you have the Kerala Science Literature Council at Trivandrum. They also provide education related to the environment. Okay, you have the important Indian Agro Industries Foundation at Pune. So these are the organizations which also provide platform for carrying out research, education, training, whatever word you use. Okay, but they are promoting environmental awareness, right? Then you have the Vikram Sarabhai Community Science Center at Ahmedabad. So it's like they provide education to school students. So as a student at your level, it is always important, do not restrict yourself only to the textbook channel or just as a lesson or something. Okay, that's the reason you see that when we are discussing a particular topic, we discuss it fully. And especially when it comes to topics like environment, you are not supposed to skip. Maybe you won't have it for the exams, but doesn't mean that you should not learn. Correct? Because this is something you have to carry forward. And you might join any profession, you might become any professional in your career, but you cannot rule out contribution to the environment because you are dependent on the environment. Simplest thing, हम लोग सांस ले रहे हैं, correct? You're breathing, so you're taking the air containing oxygen. Where is that oxygen coming from? From the plants. So just because if you are some other professional not concerned to the environment, doesn't mean that you will stop breathing or use some other gas. It's not possible. You are getting food in your plate. Vegetarian, non-vegetarian, doesn't matter. That is food. It is from the nature. So you are indebted to the environment. So at any point of time, some way or the other, you must contribute to the work of the environment. So yeah, Indian organizations, okay. Similarly, at the international level, there are environment related organizations like the IUCN. Okay, International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources. That's an organization having its headquarters in Switzerland at a place called Gland. ये उसके headquarters हैं. Okay, then you have the IPCC, Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. Okay, and you have the UNEP, United Nations Environment Protection at Geneva. So these organizations are working in their own way for environmental conservation. This is the WWF. ये उसका symbol है देखना. the giant panda. Okay, World Wildlife Fund, World Wrestling Federation नहीं है. Okay, because जैसे WWE बोलते लोग boxing imagine करते हैं. Right, this is about the World Wildlife Fund. Okay, this is the Bird Life International at Cambridge. And ये है Green Climate Fund at Songdo in South Korea. So you can see different countries are having their own organizations at the different levels. Nowadays, it's the technology and all which you are very commonly having it. The best thing what you can do whenever in your spare time, visit the websites of these institutes, these organizations. In Google, you just have to type out these names, go to their web page, read through it. You will come to know what are the different activities they actually do. And you will come to know how you as an individual can take part in those activities. There itself, you will come to know everything. Getting it? So you must work for it. Similarly, there's an organization called Greenpeace. Please remember the spelling of peace. Greenpeace matlab hare matar nahi. Okay, this is the peace we are talking about. Okay, all organisms must live peacefully. Okay, so Greenpeace is the world's largest organization which is engaged in environmental activities. ये answer याद रखना. This is the logo for it. It's like there are more than 25 lakh people from 26 different countries who are members of this organization. Okay, that is about the Greenpeace. Is it clear, everyone? Okay, all the concepts that we discussed now are clear. The different methods of conservation, protected areas, okay, and the voluntary organizations at the national level and the international level working for the welfare of the environment. Okay.